It's time now for the Success is Subjective podcast. Here is your host and therapeutic consultant for young adults only, Joanna Lilley.
Hi, and welcome to the show. I know the anxiety that comes with watching a loved one struggle with a nonlinear path. This podcast was created to fight back against the narrow picture of success painted by social media. Each week, we share authentic stories from people who changed course, maybe failed, and ultimately found their own definition of success. These are the stories you need to hear to prove that changing your mind is common and you don't have to have it all figured out at 18. So if you're a parent or a young adult looking for a little proof, you're home. Now let's get into today's episode. If you'd like to explore how I can help your young adult, you can schedule a free consultation through my website link in the show notes. Today, my guest is Dana Skaggs. Dana is a keynote speaker, psychotherapist, and podcaster known as the Queen of Boundaries. She has over 17 years of clinical experience, a podcast titled Phoenix and Flame, globally ranked in the top 5%, and is a regular contributor to the local ABC-CBS affiliate, WJHL's Daytime Tri-Cities. Her keynote, Becoming the CEO of Your Mental Boardroom, Using Boundaries to Banish Burnout, has become a fan favorite. Let's not wait any longer. Here's Dana. All right. Dana, thanks for being here. I'm excited to have you as a guest.
Thank you, Joanna. This is going to be so much fun.
All right. I'm already slap happy and we haven't even gone past the hellos. So this is gonna be good. Let's just go back in time. Tell us, because we're gonna jump forward at a certain point to talk about what it is you're doing now, but let's kind of go back just a little bit. Tell us where you grew up and what was the messaging that you were getting about what you were supposed to do after high school?
Oh, I grew up partially in Illinois and partially in East Tennessee. Moved a few times growing up. And definitely it was, at that time, I was in high school in the mid 80s. It was a very fun time to be in high school and college in the 80s with all the 80s bands. And oh my gosh, it was so much fun. But definitely, to answer your question, I mean, looking back, I don't like the way it happened, but we were basically told that you go to college.
Yeah.
When you leave high school, if you want your life to amount to anything, whatever, then you go to college. We weren't really given a lot of choices, and there's pros and cons to having a lot of choices and not having hardly any. But yeah, in answer to your question, it was just it. That's what you did. When you left high school, you went to college. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. That's what you did.
Which, it's funny because, I was not in high school or college in the 80s, but I feel like that was also still the messaging when I was in high school. And so I don't think it was that far off. Just how are we still in this place where we're saying you got to do this thing when we're really kind of forcing a path and without full understanding of why, right? Why and what's the benefit?
I don't understand that at all. I mean, there's so many occupations. There's so many wonderful things that people can do. And I've lived long enough now. I've met a lot of people. And there's people that have skills that are amazing and much needed. And you don't need to go to a freaking 4-year, 6-year, fucking 8-year experience and graduate with, dead out of your yin yang to, it's just I don't understand why we were told This is the way, this is the path. This is the golden path. It's just no, not so much.
So obviously you kind of hinted at it. You went somewhere. What did you end up doing? What was your college experience like? How did it lead you or start to get you kind of on the path leading to where you are today?
Okay, we got some fun stories. So I started out in physical therapy because, and I to this day, I'll die on this hill. That's a good choice, right? And I thought that's a good choice. That's what I'm going to do. But looking back now, I mean, when you have to get huge amounts of volunteer hours, I mean, huge, because it was extremely competitive. And I would be sitting in a PT office watching physical therapists do their thing. I think I must have looked at the clock on the wall probably 50 times. I'm like, is it over yet? Can I leave yet? Is my time up yet? If I'd had the wisdom at the time, if I'd had a wise person to come up and say, maybe this isn't for you. If you're chomping at the bit to leave, you're not inspired, you don't like doing this. But nobody told me that. So what I was told was, if you try your best at something, if you try your hardest, then you'll do what you try as long as you try your best. That's bullshit, by the way. That is bullshit. If anybody's listening, that's crap, because I did try my best, but I was not supposed to be a physical therapist. I'm not a physical therapist. I went to Memphis, went to the interviewing. They must have thought I was just like a big steaming pile of doo-doo, because I did not. And of course I got rejected. I should have been. And so then I come back, and actually part of my keynote is a story of anatomy and physiology of what that was like for me. It's quite the story. But so then I come back, and then I'm thinking, what class do I have that I enjoy, is easy for me? And I'm thinking, I liked, intro to psych. To me, those courses were like somebody saying, you spell cat, C-A-T. I was like, yeah. Yeah. And so I would sit in psychology courses and do my work for other classes because the psychology stuff just came so easy for me. So I ended up getting my master's degree in clinical psychology and just enjoyed that a lot. And so that's kind of what all happened there.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack there, but I'm not sure where or if I should even touch it, because I do feel like you gave some like good comical moments of like, and that's how that landed, moving on. How the heck did we get from, you just said psychology? Like, okay, how did we get from psychology to doing what you're doing today?
Oh, well, because I've had a private practice for 18 years, and I earned this moniker along the way of the Queen of Boundaries. And it was well-deserved, I must say, for two reasons. One, we can go into it if you want to, not if you don't want to. I'm okay either way, but I've got a mom story. Whoop, it's one of those stories. When I tell you I know about boundaries, girl, I know, okay? When I walk my patients through it, I have been there, okay? I tell them, this is what's going to happen. And when you do this, this is what's going to happen, just so you know. So don't be surprised, because when this... And so I was able to really, really walk beside them and help them to set some healthy boundaries in their life. Well, one thing led to two, and I ended up getting rebranded. And then apparently, I've been on like our local ABC CBS affiliate, I think 20 times by now. They like me to be on there to talk about stuff. It's fun. We talk about mental health issues, boundary stuff, New Year's resolutions, family vacations, all that kind of stuff. So apparently when I got rebranded, the woman that saw me do those things felt like that I would be a really good speaker, a really good keynote speaker, very entertaining and talking about stuff that really matters. And I know it matters because I've heard the stories in my office. It's not just my own personal experience, because I know that sometimes you end up with speakers and they've had this amazing experience, not to diss that at all, and they're going out there trying to help other people who are going through the same thing they went through. Fantastic. I also have done that. Plus, I have sat in my office for 18 years and heard hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stories from other people. So I know a lot about what people struggle with. What my keynote now in my heart is for helping those people who are high performers that are in the workforce and they're burning out because they don't know how to set healthy boundaries. They're like Icarus flying too close to the sun one too many times, right?
Yep.
And it hurts my heart because they end up in my office on FMLA, super smart, super talented, super creative people. And so I'm like, this is not necessary. If you knew how to set healthy boundaries, then you'd still be going. You'd still have gas in your tank. You'd still be going.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was how all this developed about boundaries and me to have a heart to help people with burnout and that kind of stuff.
Okay. And I'm also just thinking too, that as you're talking too, it's not just about boundaries. It's actually like just having an awareness of their, I don't want to say capacity, but the like pace at which they are operating. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like, if we're going to use the car analogy, right? You're saying running out of gas, but it's also like, hey, if the car's making noise, don't ignore it, right? Like it's not going to get better on its own. And that is, again, to like point it back towards these high performing professionals that you're talking about. It's just like, you have to pay attention. If all of a sudden your knee starts to hurt, don't ignore it. Pay attention to your knee. If you're super tired, don't ignore it. It's not a phase. Like, again, I think that even feels like it's the precursor before you even can get to the conversation about boundaries. It's just like, dude, you have to have an off switch at some point, and you also just need to know kind of when you are starting to fall apart.
Well, the point that you make is excellent, because if you think about boundaries being relational, right? Mm-hmm. Boundaries, and you think about the relationship you have with yourself and the relationship you have with other people. So what you're talking about is the relationship we have with ourselves, knowing what our limits are, listening to our body, paying attention to our emotions. Are we excessively angry? Are we hostile? Are we snippy, snappy, irritable? What is going on within our own emotions, within our own body? Are we getting headaches? Are we getting stomach upset? Every morning before we have to go to work, are we having a panic attack? Are we on the floor, on our knees in the bathroom trying to throw up before we have to go to work? Pay attention to what's going on in the relationship we have with ourselves first, and then in turn, the relationship that we have with other people, our family members, our friends, our coworkers. So it's twofold.
So if somebody wants to hear you speak, listen to your podcast, connect with you as a provider, where do they find you?
Okay, so if they go to danaskaggs.com, that's got all the stuff. And I'm pretty sure if they go to danaskaggs.com/quiz, because they think, I don't know if I have boundary issues. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure I know what that looks like. They can take a quiz, right? I mean, sometimes we don't know. So there's a quiz there. Now I do therapy, but I do therapy with people that reside in the state of Tennessee. But I also provide coaching, boundaries coaching for people that reside anywhere that think, I think I've got some of these issues. I just need to connect up with Dana for a few times and kind of identify some issues, kind of work out some coping strategies, and I'll be good to go. And so there's coaching, there's courses that I offer for people that want to do that. I'm just super happy about being able to help people with this. There's no reason why people have to suffer with this, Joanna.
You hear that? If you are suffering, there is no excuse.
There's no reason.
Reach out to Dana. Yeah. No reason. Okay, so let me ask you this, because I feel like this is a loaded question, but you're going to appreciate it being who you are. Thinking back to you being a 18-year-old going off to college, like I'm picturing the girl who's staring at the clock, like physical therapy, like why did I think that this was the path leading to where you are now and all of the super stinking cool things that you are doing to help people? Do you see yourself as successful?
Yes. And I was thinking about this earlier because I knew we were going to be chatting, and I had just been kind of contemplating, our conversation. And, in my mind, success is not quitting. Because, to be honest with you, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've got my private practice, podcast, I'm doing keynoting. But I'm telling you, there was a time when I was literally curled up in a fetal position and on the floor of my office. I had a straight view straight under my love seat. And I was overwhelmed. I just dropped. I was literally had my knees curled up to my chest with my arms wrapped around them. And so I want to say that because I want people to know, you know what, you see people out there that are successful, that they're doing things, they're doing the things, but yet behind the scenes, we have to deal with insecurities, with overwhelm. I mean, there's times, just actually a few weeks ago, I felt like pounding my forearm on my desk, wiping everything on my desk into a pile into the floor and setting it on effing fire. And then I was just going to walk out the door. And don't judge me, but I have a whole plan. I was going to go into the witness protection program, and I'm going to change my hair color and I'm going to get different IDs, and I'm going to Tahiti, and I'm going to sell seashell necklaces in a hut, and I'm going to have steel drum music playing in the background, and I'm going to have one of those little half fridges, and I'm going to have frozen margaritas in it. So I thought a bit about this. You see what I'm saying? So, success.
Can I just say, though, what I appreciate about that is that you're still an entrepreneur. That vision.
I'm not, success in my mind, success is you just don't quit. You're going to have those days where you just want to set the world on fire. You're going to have those days where you literally curl up under your covers in a fetal position and hope that you never have to get out from under your covers because it feels scary, because you feel insecure, you feel stupid, you feel behind. Other people are doing so much more than you. They're doing it better than you are, faster than you are, feeling all the things. I have felt all of those. Yeah. I struggle with those things still, right? If you're going to get out there and you're going to try to jump and do your best, you're going to expose yourself to other people who are doing it better than you. And that's a good thing, but it also is hard. And so success in my mind is feeling all the things and don't quit. You can rest. You can take a break. I mean, I've had a visual image before. This was several years ago when I was trying to get my podcast going and I was learning all the things. It felt like I was walking down a muddy path and somebody took the palm of their hand and planted it in the small of my back and shoved me right down in the huge mud puddle. And I'm laying there in the mud puddle. I've got mud kind of dripping off my glasses. I'm covered in mud. I can't even see. And I'm just laying there in the mud. And to be honest with you, Joanna, for a moment, I'm thinking, I think I'm just going to stay here. I'm tired. I'm tired of walking. I'm tired of learning all this fucking stuff. I'm tired of leveling up. Always level up. Somebody's always doing something. And I think I'm just going to stay here in this mud puddle. But you know what? Here's what happens. Same thing that happened when I was in a fetal position. First thing is you get kind of bored, right? And then you start getting kind of hungry. And then you're thinking, well, I could stay here in the fetal position or in the mud puddle, but I'm bored now and I'm hungry, so I might as well get up. And so that's what life looks like. You are going to land in the fetal position. It's going to happen. Stay there for a minute. Hang out for a minute, lick your wounds for a minute, hold yourself together for a minute. And then after a while, when you're bored and hungry, get up, go get a snack, go get a sandwich. And it's going to be okay. Just keep going.
I love everything about what you just said. And again, I'm such a visual person that I'm like sitting in this like moment with you, curled on the floor in the fetal position, also in this puddle of mud. And then I could just picture myself. All right, I'm done. And I am hungry. Like I can hear my belly. Maybe I should go get a sandwich.
Yeah, let's get a sandwich. Just wipe the mud off. Get a towel, wipe the mud off, especially if you wear glasses like I do. You got to almost like windshield wipers, get things so you can see where you're going. And then go wash your hands, fix you a sandwich, move along. Maybe watch something on Netflix, take a break. And then the next day, that's why, see, the name of my practice is called New Day Psychological and Coaching Services, because you know what tomorrow is? It's a new day. It's a new day. Whatever happened today, however bad you felt about yourself today, however you felt overwhelmed, you felt stupid, you felt ignorant, you felt less than, like you're not enough, you're not this, that enough. Fill in all the blanks of how you're not enough in your own mind or the mind of somebody else, whatever. Tomorrow, new day, brand new day.
I think there's also some joy too, or like levity in also planning the And, kind of you were saying just last week or just the other week where you were like, I'm going to throw all this stuff on the ground. I'm going to start a fire. I'm going to walk out. I'm in witness protection. I'm going to Tahiti. Like, here's this plan. I think that obviously I'm like giggling, and we both are. Like, it's funny. And I think it also is, I think it's okay to think about shit like that, as long as you eventually circle back to be like, that was fun. I'm not actually going to do that. And now it's time for me to, like, again, new day. Now I need to move forward and actually like push through, because what you're also describing too, Dana, and all of this is that even though you're like, a fantastic human and clearly showing up on this interview and like you're very engaging and you're interesting, you're also a human. So thank you for acknowledging your humanness, even with 18 years of all of this like badass stuff that's made you an expert and has elevated you in different platforms. And you're not guarded from like the world and how like shit gets flung at us, and we can't always avoid it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, shit's going to get flung. That's a win. And it's not if the shit's going to get flung, it's when the shit gets flung. Then what are you going to do? You're going to get shit flung on you. That's going to happen. And it's going to happen. It's going to smell and it's going to be icky. And then you just wash your clothes. You just take your clothes off, wash them, take a shower. And tomorrow is a new day. I mean, that's more important. Like when I'm dealing with people, I deal with a lot with anxiety issues and panic issues and that kind of stuff. And they're like, they talk about these intrusive thoughts. I have these thoughts of this and that, and they're very disturbing and upsetting to me. And I'm like, well, I'm sure they are. But the thought that's not your agency. Your agency is in what you do after the thought. But yeah, stuff's going to happen. Yes, it is. And then what do you do next? Yeah. And if you need to take some time and you need to take a break, take one. Give yourself permission. You don't need to let someone else. You give yourself permission. It's like, no, I'm not doing it.
I feel like I could take this in so many different directions. And there's also a part of me that wants to just put a pin in it right now. Like, you know what? This has been awesome. It's been so short and sweet, and it has flown by. And I also really just want anybody that's listening to be super curious and contact you for more. And I have no doubt that if we actually stayed on for another hour, we could very easily talk about all the things, and it would continue to be equally as engaging and like, slap happy, all the things. And I am grateful that you showed up. Thank you for sharing what you've shared so far. I do think I'm going to put a pin in it.
Whatever you want to do is good with me. Yeah, this has been great. I think we have to be real. I think I'm a very real person. I don't see the point in being any other way.
Yep.
So we have to talk truth, because if we're not talking truth, whoever's listening, they're going to be like, they're full of shit. Yeah. I've listened to people like that before. I'm like, they're not even telling. And that's why I love podcasting, because when I get people guesting on my podcast, I can hear if they're not, it's like, I've got a few questions.
It's funny. I have the same feeling. I'm like, I think that you're going to be a great guest. And then when people show up, I'm like, oh, okay. Or I'm on the flip side, I'm just like pleasantly surprised. Kind of like this conversation right now, where it's like, this is so organic. Like, clearly the authenticity is just shining through, and that's all that matters.
Yep. Because we're all walking the path. We all have similar, we're all human beings, like you mentioned earlier. Yeah. And we all have different personalities and we all have different backgrounds, but we're all humans, all trying to do well in life. And I think at the end of the day, in terms of success, I would really like to encourage each person to define for themselves what success is, because there's so many other people out there that saying success is this, success is that. Well, those people, back to boundaries, they're entitled to their opinion, right? But so are we. And sometimes it's a struggle, though, to figure out, because I've talked to people that are, starting out in life, and especially in their 20s, to try to figure out, gosh, well, what is success? What does that look like? And trying to figure that out sometimes is an arduous question to answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, especially when you're at that point of life too, where you're trying to establish your own identity, right? From your own beliefs or from beliefs that you have learned from other experiences or people in your life. Plus, this is the opportunity for intimacy in real relationships in adulthood, both romantic and platonic, and just independence in general, right? Like, it's all the things. So it's kind of the combination of everything that we're seeing and hearing. And yeah. Well, Dana, thank you again for being willing to show up, being a guest on my show, talking about your story, and just for doing the badass things that you're doing, because it's very clear to me that like a lot of the young adults that I work with and even parents of the young adults could really benefit from connecting with you because of that action-oriented, no bullshit approach.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would love to work with anyone who thinks they might benefit. Just go to danaskaggs.com. I'll connect with you. We'll talk. We'll chat.
That's it for this week's Success is Subjective episode. We want to thank our guests for joining Joanna on the show this week and for being willing to share your journey. This podcast would not exist if it weren't for people such as yourself. Stay tuned for our next episode, where you can bet it'll be another amazing human sharing their personal story with the world. Make sure you check out the show notes, where you will find contact information, website details, and all social media for our guest. If you're interested in being a guest on the podcast, you can email joanna@lillyconsulting.com. Be sure to check out the lillyconsulting.com website for additional resources outside of podcasting. Now, if you're listening to the show on Apple Podcasts, please subscribe. And while you're at it, feel free to leave a review. You can also download to listen to the Success is Subjective podcast on other popular podcast apps, such as Audible, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio. Thanks again for listening in, and remember, there is no single path through life. Success is what you make it.